the minister himself had lied on TV that he didn't have any properties in the US, that the only property he had was a property that was donated to his wife by the wife's father or mother. I don't know which work they did or they were doing. But in investigating further, we found out there were 4 properties in the name of the wife that were then donated. Listen to this. They then donated the properties that were millions at $10 per property to their children. So you buy a property for $2 million, you then give it to your children at $10. One of them was given at $100. So that was where they were caught. And we know that Nigerian system is too weak to deal with those things. But honestly, the little I know about law, the territorial jurisdiction for that crime is Florida. Yes, it's in Florida, and we have written the Attorney General of Florida to ensure that the investigation commences immediately to unravel how the monies got to the US to buy those properties. There are millions of dollars at the time that the people of Rivers, where the minister formerly used to be governor, couldn't even afford clean water, good schools, and hospitals. So, Florida will get back to us. We also intend on pursuing the Nigerian side of things. We're still working on those things. So, but we want to thank Nigerians in the large numbers who have provided information. This is the first time that we crowdsource on finding information on a crime committed on Nigeria. People were sending information. We found hotels in Rivers, multi-billion naira hotels, hospitals, houses, lands in Abuja. There was a land in which we heard that he paid $8 billion and 8 billion naira in cash to buy a piece of land in a River Park Estate. So all these things are not going to go, even if the president of Nigeria refuses, or the EFCC that has an eagle that has now tied his eyes. If they cannot do anything, the people of Nigeria will do something about this, because it's our resources that were stolen.
So Lady Olayinka has also...
Who is Lady Olayinka? Please, when we want to talk about serious things, don't mention people whose names I don't know. You understand? Even though they are Nigerian citizens, I'm more focused on people who are involved directly. Not, I don't like distractions when we have serious matters or this. This is an international matter. Yeah.
Okay, critics argue that while you raise awareness about activism and transparency in Nigeria, that it has not really translated into real political structure for your own end, and that if you haven't tested your will by contesting at lower grassroots, do you think that is sensible enough?
I don't understand where the question came from. Do you know what it means to have taken on some of the most dangerous political struggles in the last 35 years? Is that not experience? For someone to look at the military in the eyes, military generals, and say you must quit power, and we force them out of power. We are not talking about military generals who have never fought wars. I fought people who fought in the Biafran War. Abacha, Babangida. Yes, Ecomoc generals. I fought against Buhari in this country until he died. I'm not attributing his death to myself, but I'm just saying that when he was alive and the president of Nigeria, I fought against him. So, where is the lower level I need to go again? You know, which level is higher? When you have the big struggles, you say go and do it, Sowore. You now ask me to go back to local government. It's like putting a nuclear bomb inside a well.
Sorry, are you saying you are contesting? Are you declaring that you are contesting?
It's not about, I have always told you that my participation in the political space in Nigeria has nothing to do with election calendars. Those ones are for Rufai and Atiku and the rest of them. They are the ones who come every 4 years from Dubai or wherever they are hiding. I fight every day. You guys, I'm charged to court every day. This is my second case. Court appearance today. The first one was my own. The second one is to ensure that some police officers who used to beat me up, they are on trial. We want to come and ensure that they get fair trial. Actually, we came here today at the FCT. Bernard Igwe, who was the one who was beating people up and shooting people during bad governance, is retired. Is supposed to be Simon Law, who used to charge people and he has sent like almost an entire village to prison or a city on trumped up charges. He's facing charges today, but because we are people of justice, we want to make sure that they get fair hearing. So that's why we came here today. So yes.
You say that your confrontational style has limited your ability to lead coalition, because if you now say you would even want to lead Nigeria with the kind of structure we have in place now, how feasible is that at the moment?
You see, you people are always looking at coalition of criminals. We are looking at the coalition of the oppressed. You understand? The coalition you are talking about are the people who put Nigeria where it is today. If Nigerians want to continue with this coalition of thieves, it's their choice. That's democracy. But I cannot, in good conscience, go and join the coalition of people who were the ones who killed 300 Shiites and buried them alive in Zaria. The Buhari people, the Attorney General to Buhari is in that coalition. What's his name? Malami. El-Rufai, who was helping to kill Southern Kaduna people, who was the one who dug the mass graves in which the Shiites were buried. You want me in a coalition with them? I mean, are we serious in this country anymore? So, if the coalition helps you, good luck. But I cannot be part of a coalition of people who have failed and failed, even in school. We do not, even in as bad as the education system is, we do not promote people who fail.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
Here are one of the questions we got from our comment section.
Yes.
You often criticize those in power.
Yes.
But in giving real power, what are the top 3 concrete reforms you immediately implement?
People ask me all these questions all the time. I answer them. They pretend that they have not heard. That's what they do. I have spoken about all the reforms that will take place from day one. I even have an acronym known as Spicer HIT that will focus on security, power, infrastructure, fight against corruption, and economic revival, restructuring of the country, healthcare. We are going to do something about education, agriculture, technology, and technology. Spicer HIT. And we'll do all of that at once. But just so that they know again, my number one priority will be the power sector. It's because there can never be an industrial revolution in this country. We can't end poverty without turning on electricity. And we know the people who turn them off. They are in your coalition. The man who was called a criminal has not complained. The rest of you are saying, why do you call? So let the man come out. And that's what I told the DSS as well. You have no right to take me to court on his behalf. He's here in Nigeria. Let us go to court. Yeah. Of all the people that are complaining about this, my calling Tinubu criminal, Tinubu himself has never complained. Till tomorrow. And he has spoken to the media since then. He has traveled abroad. He has a TV station. He has several radio stations. He has a newspaper, The Nation. He has never complained that I call. Why is everybody, what the Yorubas call Boromi Deleru? The man who was called a criminal has not complained. The rest of you are saying, why do you call? So let the man come out. And that's what I told the DSS as well. You have no right to take me to court on his behalf. He's here in Nigeria. Let us go to court.
Yes, situation is personal.
And if you come to court on his behalf, don't come and tell me that he cannot enter the door, that he has immunity. Because he's my number one witness. All right. And that's why the man is not complaining. Natasha is my friend. But Natasha was one of the persons who said we don't need a revolution in 2019. You get my point. But to tomorrow, I support her. And I've given her all the best support that I can. But the struggle that I fight are struggles that are at the top. The ones that can bring about revolutionary change. Yes. Not the ones that can bring about reform. That is why anybody that asks me to join the Senate, you point Natasha to them. But I'm not on that level. We need Nigerian women to be represented as many of them as we have their percentage in population. So there are 51% of our women voting in election. There should be 51% of women in the Senate. I don't see why women don't vote for a candidate to win the presidency. They have the numbers. Yes, they just need to convince their husbands and their friends. Yes, whomever they know, they will win. They have the numbers. But women have to stop also playing second fiddle to men. Stop being the one that they put their party clothes on. You are the ones who stand at their rally. You are the one who will sweep the place when they are gone. You have to accept that you are equal to men.
Yes.
You know, and by doing so, you also have to confront the religious system that always say that somebody took somebody's rib. You know, nobody took anybody's rib to be the woman. That's a lie. It's not true that somebody's rib, you know, if they took somebody's rib from somebody, men will be stronger than women. Women are stronger than men. That's the truth. Yes. They even live longer than men, by the way, scientifically. So, as I always tell women, if you are going to live long, why don't you take charge of the environment you are going to live in? Because most of us are going to die before some of you.
All right, sir.
Yes.
Tinubu is a criminal. Has caused a lot of controversy between you and the APC. Yeah. And some are saying you have no right to declare that some because you are not in the court of law to say somebody is a criminal. Until proven as guilty, you cannot. And that is the reason why the Nigerian government is going ahead to fight this issue. So what would you say if somebody, for example,
APC in River State have called that the federal government should come hard on you.
Yeah.
What is your response?
The APC in River State that you're mentioning is engaging in terrorism because they were accused of terrorism by a Canadian court. Yes, it's a terrorist organization. The person who issued that statement, let him go to Canada and go and issue. He will be arrested and tried for terrorism. But even domestically, this so-called APC you mentioned, they are conducting what they call contempt of court. The court, I have a court judgment that says they are not the APC in River State. But it's not my job to determine who is APC in River State or even at national level. So, you know what it means to have taken on some of the most dangerous political struggles in the last 35 years. Is that not experience? For someone to look at the military in the eyes, military generals, and say you must quit power, and we force them out of power. We are not talking about military generals who have never fought wars. I fought people who fought in the Biafran War. Abacha, Babangida. Yes, Ecomoc generals. I fought against Buhari in this country until he died. I'm not attributing his death to myself, but I'm just saying that when he was alive and the president of Nigeria, I fought against him. So, where is the lower level I need to go again? You know, which level is higher? When you have the big struggles, you say, go and do it, Sowore. You now ask me to go back to local government. It's like putting a nuclear bomb inside a well.
Sorry, are you saying you are contesting? Are you declaring that you're contesting?
It's not about, I have always told you that my participation in the political space in Nigeria has nothing to do with election calendars. Those ones are for Rufai and Atiku and the rest of them. They are the ones who come every 4 years from Dubai or wherever they are hiding. I fight every day. You guys, I'm charged to court every day. This is my second case. Court appearance today. The first one was my own. The second one is to ensure that some police officers who used to beat me up, they are on trial. We want to come and ensure that they get fair trial. Actually, we came here today at the FCT. Bernard Igwe, who was the one who was beating people up and shooting people during bad governance, is retired. Is supposed to be Simon Law, who used to charge people and he has sent like almost an entire village to prison or a city on trumped up charges. He's facing charges today, but because we are people of justice, we want to make sure that they get fair hearing. That's why we came here today. So, yes.
You say that your confrontational style has limited your ability to lead coalition. Because if you now say you even want to lead Nigeria, with the kind of structure we have in place now, how feasible is that at the moment?
You see, you people are always looking at coalition of criminals. We are looking at the coalition of the oppressed. You understand? the coalition you are talking about are the people who put Nigeria where it is today. If Nigerians want to continue with this coalition of thieves, it's their choice. That's democracy. But I cannot, in good conscience, go and join the coalition of people who were the ones who killed 300 Shiites and buried them alive in Zaria. The Buhari people, the Attorney General to Buhari is in that coalition. What's his name? Malami. El-Rufai, who was helping to kill Southern Kaduna people, who was the one who dug the mass graves in which the Shiites were buried. You want me in a coalition with them? I mean, are we serious in this country anymore? So, if the coalition helps you, good luck. But I cannot be part of a coalition of people who have failed and failed, even in school. We do not, even in as bad as the education system is, we do not promote people who fail.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
Here are one of the questions we got from our comment section.
Yes.
You've often criticized those in power.
Yes.
But if given real power, what are the top 3 concrete reforms you immediately implement?
You know, people ask me all these questions all the time. I answer them. They pretend that they have not heard. That's what they do. I have spoken about all the reforms that will take place from day one. I even have an acronym known as Spicer HIT that will focus on security, power, infrastructure, fight against corruption, and economic revival, restructuring of the country, healthcare. We are going to do something about education, agriculture, technology, and technology. Spicer HIT. And we'll do all of that at once. But just so that they know again, my number 1 priority will be the power sector. It's because there can never be an industrial revolution in this country. We can't end poverty without turning on electricity. And we know the people who turn them off. They are in your coalition.
Trending here in Lagos, where many houses and businesses across the state have been submerged following torrential rainfall on Tuesday. Floodwaters swept through major areas including Mile 2, Lekki Phase 1, the Lekki Expressway, 3rd Mainland Bridge, Ago Palace Way, and Sangotedo, forcing commuters to abandon their vehicles and walk long distances. Videos circulating on social media show cars and motorcycles struggling through waterlogged streets, with some luxury vehicles completely submerged in knee-deep floodwater. Let's take a look.
Rain covered the bridge. June 3rd of September. Look at it. Water can no longer go out. Look at it. Look at it. See the water covered everywhere.
Now, this was so scary. In Lekki, even supermarkets were flooded. A now viral video posted by a content creator showed the moment she made her way through a flooded supermarket with water up to her ankles. Let's take a look.
Who said Africa doesn't have water? Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, ma'am.
So we are outside. We are live from Lekki, and this is our life.
Yeah, the big boy's life in Lekki.
The big boy's life in Lekki.
Lekki.
This is us just going to the supermarket to buy drink. Even inside supermarket, there's water. This is crazy. Good evening. Omo, what be this? Ah. Hello.
Omo, the struggle. The suffer is real.
Well, in response, the Lagos State Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, extended his sympathy to all affected residents, acknowledging the city's natural vulnerability as a coastal area. In a post on X, he highlighted the government's ongoing investments in drainage infrastructure, citing illegal construction on floodplains and refuse dumping as contributing factors to the floods. And I'll read his post on X in part. He wrote, around house on Rock Church, the The flooding was linked to infractions we highlighted earlier: illegal construction on floodplains and dumping of refuse in drains. These kinds of activities worsen flooding and must stop. We appeal for understanding and continued cooperation from the public, keeping our environment clean, refraining from dumping refuse into drains, and avoiding construction on floodplains are vital to achieving a flood-free Lagos. In several of the videos shared yesterday, clear infractions were observed, and Lagos State government will ensure that such illegal structures and obstructions are promptly removed. We also wish to assure residents that the flooding was a flash flood in some parts of the state and has since receded this morning. The ministry remains committed to strengthening our flood management systems, but this effort requires the support and responsible actions of all Lagosians. Together, we can build a safer, cleaner, and more resilient Lagos. Well, Dr. Abati, I'll come to you. We are here in Lagos, and most of us did experience that flash flooding in Lagos on Tuesday. The Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, is saying that we all have to come together to help, clear our drainage systems. And of course, he blamed, illegal construction, especially in that Lekki area. What are your thoughts on the stories so far?
Okay, two things. Now, Commissioner Wahab has said this is floodplain. Apart from Commissioner Tokunbo Wahab describing it as flash floods, that's the phrase that he used. You also see that climate change is one of the recurrent subjects at the ongoing United Nations General Assembly. Vice President Kashim Shettima referred to it. The president of Kenya, Dr. William Ruto, who is projecting himself as a champion for climate change, climate action in Africa, also talked about it. In other words, the entire world is facing an existential challenge in terms of climate change. And it's not only in Nigeria. We have had flash floods, even worse than what happened in Lagos, in Central Europe, in Japan, in other parts of the world this year. In fact, Spain, a section of Spain was almost submerged in water. So we share that tragedy with other parts of the world. But whereas, you may say, other countries are making concerted efforts, even in spite of the hypocrisy of the international community with regard to climate action, what are we doing here in Nigeria beyond the rhetoric? Now, Commissioner Wahab also tried to answer that question by reacting to the specific examples that you have shown. He said, for example, that in a place called Kushenla, somewhere around Lekki area, he says the problem is technical because the downstream end of the flow of the water is 1.2 meters higher. So that area is, naturally going to be submerged. And then in another part, around House on the Rock and all of that, he said the problem is that people are reclaiming land, people are building on drainages, people are, violating the floodplains. Now, the way the Lagos State government has responded to this is to demolish what they call illegal structures. And they keep threatening that they will continue to demolish illegal structures. However, the problem here is that the problem has become perennial. Anytime it rains in Lagos, no matter the volume of the rain, the whole town shuts down. The whole city shuts down. People left their offices around 1 p.m. on that Tuesday. They didn't get home until 2 a.m. Now calculate the cost in terms of man-hours lost, the pain for people, and then the fact that houses became floating seas. And in fact, you could have paddled a canoe on certain parts of Lagos. But it's an essential problem, and there must continue to be concerted action. NIMET warned that there will be rains, non-stop, rainfall, non-stop, in about 6 or so states for about 4 days. Now, tragedy occurs, problem occurs. Who is going to compensate the people who lost their vehicles? Who is going to repair the vehicles? The only part of it that I'm uneasy about is the attempt to politicize it by Gbadebo Roosevelt, the Labour Party chieftain, who was saying, you know, the APC has failed. They've been doing it for 20 years. And it's because they have failed that you are suffering in this manner. No, climate change is not about, you know, politics at that level.
All right.
But the public will have to be continuously educated. We are all involved, whether you are a gubernatorial candidate or you are a traditional ruler.
Yeah, we shouldn't be playing politics at this time. I'll come to you. You know, people living in Lekki are blaming the construction of the Lagos Coastal Highway project, saying that the construction lacked proper drainage system. But last month, we saw that the Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, had dismissed social media reports alleging a lack of drainage system on the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway. He said that the Coastal Highway project included 750 kilometers of dual underground drainage systems. I mean, this is the conversation from the residents in Lekki, especially saying that since the construction began, we have experienced more flood than before. But we have seen that there's, you know, increase in floods, especially back in April, even in July, we've seen more floods in that area as well.
I think it would be interesting. I cannot say that we've seen like a more devastating effect of floods since Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road started. I say this because this is not the first time in Lagos State that homes have been flooded. I recall, in the early, about 10 years ago, 9 years ago, something similar happened as well. Whenever we have continuous rainfall of this nature, before and now, post the construction of the coastal highway, we have seen homes and businesses affected. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a cheap shot to, I mean, we can investigate that, but it's a cheap shot because it is something that's happened even before the construction of the coastal highways. However, you hit a point whereby we talk about the drainage infrastructure, especially in Lagos State not being sufficient. I feel very bad because, you know, I love my Lagos State. Yes. I always speak up for the state, Nibaja and the likes. But there's also a moment of truth where we have to tell ourselves the truth and be honest so that we can chart a pathway forward. Now, the governor of Lagos State came on board on the campaign of themes in terms of the plans he had for the state, highlighting some of the key challenges that the state had and how he hoped to address that. His priority areas, according to the themes agenda, was transportation and traffic management. We saw how horrendous transportation or traffic management was on the days that rain fell. Like Dr. Batsi cited, a number of people, if you were stuck outside when the rain started, it was jeopardy for you. It was horrible. Families, children who went to school were returning with their school buses around 10 p.m., 11 p.m., and would still have to go to school the next day. It was a terrible situation. We look at making Lagos State a 21st century city, mega city. If we're looking at a 21st century mega city that cannot manage rainfall, we are not anywhere close to the 21st century mega city. I say this because this is the second term of the governor, and even as he begins to wrap up his term in office, he's done some really great work in Lagos State. But if we're looking at him based on the promises he made to Lagosians, then he has to really look at some of these areas and see the ways in which he can chart in a path forward. We also looked at the fact that, we looked at the environment. Health and environment was also a key part. So let's talk about the environment. A number of things. I agree with the commissioner who said that, people pour waste management. Absolutely. And this is something that they have talked about. In fact, the Lagos State governor introduced the ban on plastic. And now you have to pay for your plastic bag, which was a good move. And now when you complain about it, at least you understand the reason why that policy was made. But there's a lot more to be done. Yes. We look at the demolition of houses. He's heavily criticized for this. You can understand now why such decisions have to be made. Yes. If you do not agree with those, then don't complain when flood happens like this. However, there's still a taller task to ask, which is there are some prominent buildings in Victoria Island, in Lekki. If you're targeting the people in Bariga, in Maryland, why don't you look at the people in Lekki and Victoria Island who have also built illegal structures on these drainage pathways? Right. So I think that there's a holistic approach to this, but Lagos State cannot continue to claim to be the 21st century city and still have issues. Yes, there's climate change, but we can also mitigate the effects or minimize the effects of climate change.
Absolutely. Cars submerged, people lost their... those cars, I'm sure they don't have insurance. But now the Lagos Commissioner has urged for some cooperation between residents and the government. We need to ensure that we have a greater Lagos. Eko ni baje. as I always say to you, Ayo. Now to Delta State. With an update to the story we brought you last week about missing children in the Agbaro community of the Ughelli North local government area. On Wednesday, an unidentified woman was set ablaze after being accused of child theft. Eyewitnesses say the woman was caught attempting to kidnap a 7-year-old boy before being dragged into the streets by residents, as seen in this viral video. Viewer discretion is advised. This is so sad that the Delta State Police Command has confirmed the incident, decrying the incident that instead of bringing her to the station, the community decided to take laws into their hands. They also said that they have a suspect in custody. This incident comes just days after residents mounted protests over the spate of kidnappings in the area. Well, the video showed the moment. The alleged kidnapped victim was reunited with his mother. Parents in the area have reportedly been keeping their children indoors for the fear of kidnapping. Joy at last for this woman and the young boy who was rescued yesterday. Dr. Abati, I'd like to come to you with this story. Now, as for the woman who was set ablaze, many have condemned the act, calling it barbaric and stating that, jungle justice should not be the way forward. Your thoughts on the story?
Well, first, we have to insist on the security of lives and properties and the dignity of the human person, the right to the life of everyone, whether that person is a child or as an adult. Those rights are sacrosanct under Chapter 4 of the Constitution. But what we see routinely is that, there's so much danger everywhere, and children are the most vulnerable, whether they are recruited as agents by terrorists and bandits, or they are, abused in routine circumstances, or as is in the case in Agbaro, in Ughelli North local government area, they get kidnapped. We had the chairman of that Ughelli North local government, and he said, well, they have been making efforts, and investigation is ongoing. He's liaising with the security agencies, but the security agencies will seem not to be effective or efficient enough. 40 children between the ages of 4 and maybe 14 abducted in the very presence of security agencies in a state, in a community where you have government. I think that in itself is very embarrassing. However, as to the woman who was apprehended, holding another person's child inside a sack and holding a Bible in her right hand, I think that's most ironic about the kind of charlatanism that people attach to children, but that does to religion. But that does not in any way justify jungle justice. To set a human being ablaze in the country, that's a clear indication that environment is fast becoming a jungle. And I think that the security authorities should take a look into this and apprehend those people who had a hand in the killing, extermination of that woman. She's innocent until proven guilty, and only a court of law can, within the laws of the land, take life. Absolutely. Not any individual, whatever may be the circumstances or the provocation.
Well said, Dr. Abati. You're absolutely right, and I'll re-echo your thoughts. Jungle justice is unacceptable. That woman should have been investigated or she could have even helped us understand the root cause of the situation if actually the child was found in her home. Ayo, I'd like to come to you on the story really quickly. The police has, confirmed the incident. They said that they have a suspect right now. Hopefully, this whole saga will be unraveled.
Yeah, so earlier, just a few minutes ago, we had the chairman of the Ughelli North local government area come and talk about it. And I think part of what he said, or the manner in which he approaches some of the dangers that people talk about and why people react or respond like this. Where we talked about jungle justice in the past, we've often said that it is as a result of the failure or the lack of trust of the people in the justice system. And so they decide to take matters into their own hands when you feel that there's no action that's been taken. We cited the fact that for 4 months now, there have been complaints around abduction of children in this area. And that even the king of Agbaro community had called out the DPO and the area commander saying that they were not doing enough to to tackle the menace. Now, because people feel like the justice system isn't working for them, when they see things like this, they now decide to take matters into their own hands, which is absolutely wrong. Like you said, that could have been an opportunity for us to investigate further. She could have been a suspect and given an informant to actually help to end the situation rather than the brief in exhilaration from apprehending a criminal, an alleged criminal who has not yet been, who has not yet been tried, and then killing her immediately. But beyond that is that can the government or the leaders be honest with us? What we want to do is that we want a solution to what is happening in Agbaro community, not just to whitewash it and say everything is okay, just 2-3 people. It's that women have come out to protest to say that their children have been abducted. What is the police doing? What are the security agents doing about it? But I think it is absolutely horrible.
So guys, let's quickly take a look at this massive destruction that is going on in Lagos State. They went to trade fair and they are demolishing some of the complexes that were newly built there. According to this headline coming from Vanguard newspaper, it says, photo, heavy security as Lagos government demolishes over 19 buildings at Trade Fair Plaza. So guys, the Nigeria of today does not even call for this kind of stress. I mean, people are already going through a lot. So the government is busy demolishing. Sometimes people will argue, assuming the government does not want those houses to be, why not just seize the houses? Let it become yours. Why not seize the houses or give it to orphanage homes or give it for people to use it for relevant things than just coming in and destroying all these buildings. 19 buildings is no joke, Nigerians. It's not a play. Now, let's take a look at some of the reactions from people. It's really so sad that under this Tinubu's government where the poor cannot breathe, these people are busy destroying houses. And this is trade fair. And if you ask me, I'll tell you that it's mostly the Igbos that are there. Majority are Igbos. So this 19 building, business plaza, it must have cost people, their livelihood. Now, let's see how Nigerians are reacting. This person said, Ndibo, if you had your country, even if you own 95% of the businesses in Lagos, this would never happen to you. You will have a homeland that protects your interests within diplomatic and military instruments of deterrence. Those demonizing Biafra are enemies of the Igbos. Okay, this person is trying to say that if the Igbos had built, so possibly majority of these plazas are owned by Igbos. There's no two ways about it. Now, this person say, stop doing real estate in Nigeria. It's a total waste of money. Invest globally and earn your money in pounds. I think this makes sense, Stop investing in Nigeria. It's a total waste of your money. Hey, this is powerful. That you should invest globally and earn your money in pounds. It makes sense. That is, you go and invest in stocks and real estate REIT. That's another way to invest in real estate. You can imagine how much they used in building this plaza that are being destroyed now. If this person had invested it in something more reasonable. Hey, investing in Nigeria is really so risky. No matter the promises, the returns they will promise you, honestly. Anytime flood happens, breaking down houses is the best solution. What is thinking? Think outside the box or try do it the other way around. I think this makes sense, Anytime like this rainy season, they will just be demolition and money that people used to build these houses will just be a thing to let go. This person said the real culprit of all these are never brought to book. The person who sold the land and the one who approved the building project should be in jail. The buyers are only victims. Now the banks will go after the project owners without even mentioning the crushing interest rate. Hey, Nigeria honestly feel like an active crime scene. God, honestly, this person just nailed it, because this is bank money. Nobody has this kind of money to put into real estate directly. These are loans, and with the Nigerian interest rate in Nigeria, they collect 30-40%, which is almost half of the money you borrowed. That's what you'll be giving them, possibly monthly or so. So you see that this calculation is not working. This person say nobody should blame the Lagos state government on this. Me self know that those plazas are not in good position. You can't block waterways because of business. The day they will come to Agric or Joe local government, what are people brought canal? Where are people brought canal and have built structures on them? I'll be happy too. So this person is saying that what the Lagos state government is doing, but somebody approved it in Lagos. Somebody collected money, sold the land, approved. This person say misplaced priority. Why can't Lagos state government channel this energy to flood in Lekki? Jide Sawolu, this is not governance. I really love it. He's a Yoruba guy that is saying this. Another person say, good for those stubborn money misroad Igbo businessmen that stupidly invest their money, their hard-earned money in Lagos. Thank God my senior brother has his property in Enugu and Abia State, respectively. So this person is an Igbo man saying that Igbos, why should they continue investing in Lagos State? Another person here say demolition of Igbo market that will bring sanity to Lagos environment is welcome development. But any demolition on Igbo market that is politically or tribal disagreement will not be good for government. It will go down in history. Demolition. And this one is about Yoruba people are in Igbo land. No one is disturbing them. Yorubas are in Port Harcourt oil and gas industry. No one is disturbing them. Ndibo, how long shall we continue to act like Atoro? We must extend the same treatment to Yorubas and to Yorubas in Igbo land, eye for eye. But Yorubas are mostly not even businessmen. That's one thing you know. So this is affecting mostly business people. The only crime there is Lagos State will approve these buildings. Lagos State will collect money from them. They will buy this land, they will survey it, they will get all the documentation, only for them to be told they are building on the wrong parts, and then newly built plazas being destroyed. Nigerians, this should worry somebody. Now, this person said the person who sold the land, the Lagos state officials in Alaosa that collected the money for approval, whether legit or bribe, and others won't be punished, just the buyer. Well done. When are they going? When are they going to other places? That's when are they going to other places in Lagos to also destroy? And this person said, Ndibo struggling to belong to Nigeria, and Nigeria continue to show them that they are not part of them. Ndibo support Biafra freedom. Let's go and build our nation. They say only hungry people are talking about Biafra. We shall see how the matter will end. This person say, Jesus, this is evil. How can Lagos state government go into trade fair market? That's federal property and demolished approved buildings. Why? Hey, this person is saying it is not good. And this person say, I laugh when one idiot called Chidi said they bought all the lands in Lagos state, not knowing that it's waterway. Omo Nile sold for them, but now they know. They never see anything for Lagos. It's just the beginning. Ona go know what's up. Ona go know what's up. And this other person here says, how is Lagos demolition on federal property? Trade fair is a federal government place. How is a state government doing demolition there? Or have it moved from federal to state? Another person here says, demolish everything, stop the free flow of water in Lagos state. So, guys, it's really so pathetic. The only part of Lagos that is not sinking is being demolished now. Wow. And this person says, I hope IPOB are the one destroying Igbo businesses. What you fail to see will come to you, whether you like it or not. So, guys, actually, majority of this plaza must be belonging to Igbo businesses, and that is why people are really reacting this way, you know. Now, there is this video when they came to demolish the property, and people were like shouting. You could literally see people shouting on how the houses were being demolished. Now, let's take a look at some of the reactions. This person said it is high time every region of the country have their own working international seaport and let them decongest Lagos. You cannot just be wasting people's billions of naira and keep relocating them. You were not blind or deaf when these buildings were going on. I think this is just it. Hey, this is just it too. They will wait until these people will finish building. They will then come to demolish. You can never see the Lagos government coming to demolish houses that were just the construction has just begun. They will wait until these plazas are already ready to, for use, for people to start using them. They'll just come in and start. We've seen people who moved into houses like 1 month, 2 months, and you hear that they were given 2 hours to pack all their properties out. This is just pure wickedness. I'm just telling you, this is pure wickedness. There is, and you don't even, who are you going to cry to? Nobody will listen to you. Is it the courts won't listen to you? They are working with the Tinubu's government. Where are you even going to? Are you going to the police? Are you the police that arrested somebody for saying he is Obi of Lagos? And today I saw somebody speaking to somebody who is an Oba in Enugu. Is it? So, guys, see, they are not giving the Igbos any breathing space, and sadly, it is under the Tinubu's government. We're told that the South, when it's the turn of the South, but you can see that even the Northerners are more fairer to the Southeasterners than the so-called Southern president. And this person say, Igbo businessmen, you people have to mature. Come together, form a seaport in the East, Onitsha River Port, because if you don't, all these attacks and demolition are not stopping. I think this makes sense, And this other person said, is trade fair no longer federal government zone and support properties, while state government going there to demolish building that federal government might have certified and cleared for erecting those story buildings. So, guys, I don't know what is happening. This person said those who bought a playground to build a plaza shouldn't only be prosecuted and thrown into prison. They should also be made to serve with hard labor. This man is an Igbo man, though. He's Uche Rochas, but he always, because he's an APC supporter, he always talks so unkindly, honestly. And someone replied him and say, did they just build on the playground without approval from the same government? Oh my God. I don't go to trade fair, and believe me, I saw this coming. I do go to trade fair, and believe me, I saw this coming. In fact, I believe the residential buildings at the back of trade fair complex are too close for comfort. It looks like they have already encouraged on the federal government land. Okay, encourage. So, guys, it's really so sad that, honestly, all this is happening. Can imagine under this Tinubu's government. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell notification. Thank you.